What is going on, beautiful people? I need the vibes up. I need the spirits up. We're coming off not a terrible week last week, but we had multiple guests fall off. Big time me, one of which will be back today. So we'll be sure to give him a hard time. But we got a fun list of guests lined up for everybody's best bets for the card. UFC Vegas 51, not the greatest card, but there is a couple spots that I like. I actually have a decent amount of action out there, and I know a few of my buddies do as well. So want the spirits up, want the vibes up. Let's have a day today, boys. And to get us started, it's none other than batting leadoff, Andrew Gombas. What's up, man?
What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. Doing good. What is your best bet? We need to bounce back from last week. We had the K Hansen ugly fight, close fight, but obviously didn't come through for the roundtable parlay. What's the bounce back bet this week?
Yeah, bounce back bet this week. I'm gonna go with Miguel Baeza. Mine's coming on him a little bit. I believe he's like minus 160 right now. Much better technically, has all the grappling upside, better cardio. I think he's gonna chew Fialho's leg up at range. Fialho kind of just plods forward, looking to land that big shot. I don't see it happening. I like Miguel Baeza to get us back on track today.
Absolutely. I love me some Caramel Thunder. So I'm not opposed to that pick myself. I came close to pulling the trigger. I see the line keeps creeping in too. I might have to take the plunge. You said it's like minus what, 165-ish?
Yeah, I think it's like, I'll double check right now, but I think it's like minus 160. I know it like kind of hung around minus 170, 175 during the week. Yeah, okay. So he's minus 150 down to 157 on Bet Online now if anyone wants to hit that.
All right. Love to hear it, man. Hope to get back in the win column. Thanks for joining, Andrew. Good luck tonight.
Thanks for having me, as always. Peace.
All right. Moving right along to first time on the Best Bets Roundtable. You guys recognize the familiar face, professional sports bettor. I was waiting to introduce you like that. Jonah, what's going on, man?
What is going on, my man? I'm happy to be back talking fights with you. How are you doing?
Absolutely. Doing great. So the people, I mean, I've had everybody and their mother hit me up this week like, yo, is Jonah going to be on Best Bets? What is his best bet for UFC Vegas 51? Coming off a hot Bellator last night. We all know Corey Anderson cashed a big ticket for you. I don't want to hear anything otherwise. What's your best bet for tonight?
I think theme of the day for me is just betting on pretty bad heavyweight fighters to go the distance or go over 1.5 rounds. So I've got two bets that are kind of in that ballpark. I bet William Knight and Devin Clark to go the distance at minus 125. And then I also bet the real heavyweight slopper of the evening between Buday and Barnett to go to start round 2 at minus 125. So I think either of those provide value. Obviously, big guys. There's a big weight discrepancy or size discrepancy, I should say, in both fights, which was a little off-putting yesterday at weigh-ins. But for the most part, I like betting totals based on the pace of the fight as opposed to, like durability or finishing upside, stuff like that. And I kind of just think that William Knight versus Devin Clark is going to be a slow-paced, grinded-out affair. And Buday versus Barnett, we may see a finish later on when Barnett suffers like a cardiac arrest in the middle of round 2. But for the most part, I think that Buday, despite being the much bigger fighter, is going to push him into the clinch, get real slow in that realm of the fight. And I think we see a round 2 in that fight and a full 15 in the other heavyweight fight tonight.
I love it. And just so I got it correct, because I'm trying to write these down as we go. So Knight Clark, I got minus 125 goes the distance. And then Barnett, Buday over 1.5 minus 125. Is that right?
Starts round 2.
Starts round 2. Okay.
So we just need the 5 minutes just in case Barnett doesn't make it off the stool after round 1. You know what I mean? You got to have a little bit of that.
Gotcha. And I really like that, the Knight Clark one, because I'm expecting the same thing. I think really similar to the Clark Menefield stylistic matchup where Clark just held him against the fence, avoided the power shots, used that technical wrestling. So I actually have Clark in a Juice Boy parlay this week. So I'm hoping it goes the distance. I think he dominates William Knight with the wrestling. But I thank you for joining us. And I have to point out the Sixers flag in the background. They're winning game 1. A lot of people chirping, even in the MMA community, about Toronto Raptors. I mean, this is like the easiest bet of all time. Lay it with the Sixers. Can't go wrong.
I don't know about all that, but my roommate's a big Sixers fan. I do have some bets on the Raptors to win late in the series, not to kill the vibes or anything, but I do root for the Sixers. I've been aboard since Sam Hinkie was in town. I've got all the trusted prospect here, so I'll be rooting for you guys, John.
Much appreciated, man. Thanks for joining and good luck tonight, bro.
You too.
All right, moving right along. Now, I said I was going to give him a hard time. Last week, Zade was supposed to be on the show. He big time me, no call, no show. Oh, now he just tipped again. No.
Yo, my
what
bad.
are we doing? What are we doing?
I got a phone call. I forgot to put it on D&D. Hold on 1 second.
All right. I'll give you a pass for that. I said I was going to give you a hard time with the no call, no show, but in full transparency, you did tell me before the fight Alexei Oleinik was going to be your best bet, and you would have been not the first person on. So there was multiple people chirping about Alexei Oleinik, one that we'll get to later in the show, but you did call a submission by Oleinik. So even though it wasn't on stream, I guess that I'll forgive you.
Too, because I'm like, he's literally going to scarf hold him. Like, I knew the exact submission that he was going to do too. And it was frustrating, my bad about that no call, no show. I really like a bet this week. Last week I was on fire. I wish I came on. I mean, I had Aljo plus 350. We got a lot of value last week. This week,
we need to stay hot. What do you got for tonight?
We will tonight. We have. I'm looking exactly at the main event. I think it's a very interesting fight to look at with Belal Muhammad and Vicente Luque. Muhammad has gone 10 of his last fights have gone the distance. He's a decision fighter. And I mean, he did get knocked out by Luque in 10 seconds, but he's a completely different fighter now. I mean, this is literally his third fight in the UFC. Now we're looking at he's won 10 of his last 11. Belal Muhammad is a fighter that is position over submission. We saw with Michael Chiesa, he was able to take Luque down. He tried to force a submission and he lost it. I think Belal Muhammad's path to victory in this fight is going to be grinding out Luque. Luque is a fighter that hasn't fought a 5-round fight. He's fought ending in the first round, second round, these last couple of fights. Last time he went the distance was a 3-round fight with Stephen Thompson, which he lost. Belal Muhammad is going to have to go the distance and have to grind him out. Something I like that caught my eye was the round to start, the fight to go to round 4. It's at minus 152 right now on FanDuel. And I think it's going to go the distance. And just by starting round 4 at minus 152 is great value. You could take it there. Something that stuck out to me that's crazy, and you could not sprinkle a unit, sprinkle maybe 0.2 of a unit. 50-1 Belal Muhammad to win round 4 submission or round 5 submission. Who's to tell? Maybe Luque gasses late. The grinding, the clinch work, rounds 1, round 2, round 3. That's the only way he's going to win that fight. He's going to take him to the ground. Round 4 and 5, 50-1 plus 5,000 on a submission victory. I could see it happening. I really can. He grinds him out, gasses him out. Maybe he finishes him late. But the only way he wins this fight is he avoids a firefight, he clinches, and he tries to take him to the ground.
Yeah, I love the analysis, and I like the big long shot too, even though my wallet will be rooting for the opposite because I actually bet Luque inside the distance at a little bit of plus money. But I agree with most of what you said there. Definitely some concerns if it does get extended about Luque's gas tank. So I don't hate the long shot stab, and it's kind of tough for me to be on the other side of you because you have been red hot here, but hopefully you come through for the roundtable this week.
I don't know. I could just see it happening like around 4, round 5. He takes him down. He's exhausted. I mean, Belal is a fighter. He's not amazing anywhere, but he's great everywhere. He's not going to be the guy that's going to knock you out or just take you down and grind you out as long as possible, but he's good everywhere where he could take the clinch work. He has good cardio. He's training well. Everything he does is very good. And he can win this fight if he fights the right way, and he has the IQ to do it.
The first of what I think is going to be multiple people on the Belal Muhammad side, but the official best bet is starts round 4, minus 152. Good luck this week, Zade, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, moving right along. I have a feeling we're going to see multiple people, just a feeling that multiple people are going to be on the Belal Muhammad side this week, but we'll see. Next up is none other than my guy, resident Bills fan, Pepe. What's going on, bro?
John Kelly, thanks for having me on again, brother. I appreciate it. Uncle Pepe in the house. And today I got my value boy hat on. We're gonna go with probably an unpopular pick, but where I'm seeing value in capping these fights, we're gonna go with Sam Hughes, Sam Page, to turn things around and get her first UFC win. You can find her at plus 195 right now. Sam Page, she's had a rough run in the UFC in her first 3 fights, but those opponents were super strong, and she took 2 of those 3 fights on short notice. For this fight, she has a full camp, and she's at Fortis. Fortis Sampage, cashing it for the boys, plus 195 on DraftKings right now. The way I cap the fight is probably it's close to 50-50, maybe slight lean to Nunez, 55-45. But at current prices, I love the Hughes side. We've seen how Nunez loses. Her takedown defense is awful. And I think the UFC is serving up Sampage a winnable fight based on stylistics. We know Sampage is going to press the grappling. She's going to look to cage push. And Nunez, in her last fight against Carnelossi, showed that she was easily put on the back foot, didn't know what to do when she was against the cage, was going down at will, trying to grab the fence to hold herself up. And Carnelossi's not some crazy grappler. I know she's strong, she's jacked, so it looks like she's this incredible grappler. She's not. Sampage has a background in wrestling. She has a full camp. She's coming with Safe Sayud. She's fired up. I think the UFC is doing her a small favor for taking the Pinheiro and Tisha Torres fight on short notice, at least giving her a winnable fight. And yeah, I don't see how Nunez is such a big favorite in this matchup just based on the stylistics of it and the cardio that Sampage has shown and that Nunez has shown.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting matchup. You know, I don't hate the analysis behind the play. My issue with Hughes is like, I get that should be the game plan, but like we haven't really seen her execute at least at the UFC level. Like she's only attempted like 3 takedowns in the UFC. She's actually never landed a takedown. So that's my concern is like, maybe if Hughes keeps it on the feet, you know, she's clearly gonna outbox her at range.
She's fought Tisha Torres, Loma, and Luana Pinheiro, and
Absolutely.
she's won the third round in both fights that went the distance. She won the third round in both of them. All she has to do is get an early takedown, grind one of the rounds, one of the first 2 rounds, and I'm pretty confident that she wins round 3 at a pretty high clip. So I like Hughes at that number. Obviously not someone you love to bet on. It feels dirty, but the stylistics and what I saw in my capping is that it's an extremely winnable fight for Hughes. Just don't give Nunez the space to get her kicks off, rush forward, cage push, make it grindy, dirty, get a couple takedowns, wear on her, sap the cardio. And I think she's extremely motivated. Like I said, first camp at Fortis, Safe Sayud, barking. Let's get it done, Sampage.
All right. I don't hate it. I do have a bet, full disclosure. I do have a bet on Hughes by decision. It's more of just a numbers play.
Hughes by decision?
Or sorry, not Hughes by decision, Nunez by decision. Okay. Because she was a minus 220 favorite and you could get the decision prop at like, I bet it at plus 105. Whereas like, I don't really see her winning by a finish. So like if she does win, you might as well take a little bit of plus money on it. So that's the way I played it. But I don't hate the play if you're backing the underdog in the plus 200 range. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, anyone parlaying minus 230 Estela Nunez is extremely square. The value boy hat is on today.
I see that. Live lucky. I like it.
Yeah, you know all about it.
All right, I gotta keep tempo, brother. But I appreciate you joining and good luck with. Hopefully, Sam Hughes gets it done for you tonight.
Thanks, bro.
All right, later, man.
Later.
All right, Sam Hughes. That might be the only person on Sam Hughes. That's ballsy. I respect it. But we got to keep tempo going. We got my guy Billy Briz in the chat. What is going on? This man shows up on stream last time and he gets on there. He's like, nah, I don't want the money line, the boring money line bets like everybody else. We're going Olynyk first round submission. And the guy gets it done. It got a little bit sweaty in the beginning.
It gets sweaty, John.
But he got it done. What's up, bro?
DFS lineups, man. I was a little bit nervous for that one, man, because that one was, betting on a 43-year-old guy. That's really not the guidelines of winning in MMA long term. But this week, we're going to go right back to the well. A little bit ballsy again. We're going to go with the rookie that's making his contender series. From the contender series, Martin Buday, rounds 1 or 2 on FanDuel at -115. He's a huge favorite at -240. He has a 100% finishing rate. The one fight that says on Tapology that's a loss. In reality, it was the second fight in his career. But in reality, though, I feel like Chris Barnett, this is one of those type of instances where the recency bias comes in. We all cashed on the Chris Barnett in his last fight. We're all happy for Chris Barnett to get a UFC win. But in reality, dude, he's really not even a heavyweight. He's like a light heavyweight. He's going up against Martin Buday, a dude that cuts down to make heavyweight. He is very good in the clinch. He has good striking. He has good ground game. He's better than Chris Barnett everywhere. And we also have him in a power play for prize picks this weekend with Vicente Luque on the under on that. Got a nice little FanDuel odds boost this weekend, hush hush for that one. But we got Martin Buday rounds 1 or 2 -115. It's going to be a straight casher.
I like it, man. I'm probably not as high on Buday, but I do see the angle, and I'm not big on Barnett, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish early. You said round 1 or 2 -115, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of like a similar cap to last week of how we faded Jared Vanderaa. It wasn't like we were really too high on Alexio Oleinik. It was more of a fade of the opponent.
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, I think this is the worst opponent out of all the discrepancies of the matchups on the card.
Absolutely. Confidence level before you leave us, confidence level 1 to 10. What do you got?
Solid 8 out of 10. We usually don't give out favorites at -115. We usually try to go for the plus money, but it's Easter weekend. People are trying to get paid. The Sixers play today. There's a lot of money to be made. So let's get straight to the business.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight, bro.
Let's get it.
Oh, I think I just removed somebody by accident. Oh, sorry, Lou. I went to remove Billy and I skipped somebody, and we don't want to skip Evan because the man is 4-0 on stream, I believe, or is it 3-0?
It'll be 4-0 after today.
It'll be 4-0 after today. He gave out Mackenzie Dern money line, right? Last time?
Yeah, gave out Dern money line.
We were both sweaty. On that. Little sweaty, but I think we felt pretty good going into the decision there. But what do you got for us tonight, bro?
All right, I got Trey Ogden. Played in -135, and I added to him today at -140. That's pretty much where it's sitting around the market. Nothing sexy about it, man, but there's nothing boring about cashing tickets, and this is a ticket that I'm confident is going to cash. I don't think Jordan Levitt is UFC caliber. I don't know why the line hasn't really blown out further in Ogden's favor. I was actually doing a little more tape this morning, and that's why I added at -140. I think he's got him covered pretty much everywhere. I think Jordan Levitt's win condition here is a first-round submission, like an early sub. I watched the Matt Sales fight a couple times with Levitt, and Levitt, first of all, Matt Sales is one of the worst male grapplers in UFC history in the lower divisions. And it inspired some confidence that Ogden will be okay on the mat with Levitt early. I don't love that Ogden has a few submission losses, but he is a black belt. Thomas Gifford guillotines are concerning, but Gifford's got crazy long arms. What are you going to do? I think Ogden and I think James Krause, I think they're going to have a good game plan. It's more of a fade on Levitt than anything else. I don't think that Ogden he's some great prospect. He's 32 years old. I don't think he has a huge ceiling in the UFC, but I don't know why it's still sitting around -140. If you look at Levitt's 2 wins in the UFC, Matt Sales already alluded to, and Matt Wyman, the ghost of Matt Wyman. So he's technically 2-1 in the UFC plus a win on the contenders. Maybe that's why people, this line is still hanging around against a debutant. But I just think Ogden's bigger. He's more physical. He's a better wrestler. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think as the fight, he got better cardio. I think he gets it done today. I think striking, neither guy's a great striker, but I favor Ogden in that regard. He's got a pretty good jab, good lead hand, some check left hooks, good outside low kick. I'm interested to see what their game plan is. I watched an interview with Trey Ogden, and Ogden said he's going to submit Levitt. I don't love that game plan. I kind of want him to sprawl and brawl early. But I think Levitt, as it gets extended, is going to slow down. I think he was gassing against Matt Sales. So I feel real good about Trey Ogden. Where are you at in this one? You got any plays?
So I was actually close to betting Ogden early. I thought I would bet Ogden early. I didn't end up doing it. And that was basically my analysis is I think a bet on Ogden is you're betting on James Krause and company to get him to fight the right game plan. And while I think that's certainly possible, Krause, one of the better coaches, one of the better strategic coaches in terms of a game plan. But it's you watch the tape on Ogden, he just wants to grapple. He puts himself in so many bad spots to where I'm I think he's going to win because he's just, I think the striking advantage could be even a little bit bigger than you alluded to. So like, I definitely prefer the Ogden side, but on the flip side, it's like, it could be one of those things where he just goes and tries to grapple with somebody that might be a little bit more dangerous on the mat. So I picked Ogden to win. I was closer on the money line to betting Ogden, but I think the sub prop on Jordan Levitt was a little bit off. So I played Levitt by submission at plus 380 on FanDuel. I think it's like still available, or plus 360. I just think that's wide for somebody that really only has one way to win. Like you mentioned, like it's probably an early sub. And you know, just historically speaking, Ogden puts himself in bad spots on the mat. But if I were to bet a money line, it would be the Ogden side. I do agree with most of what you said there. And if he fights the right game plan, I do expect him to cover that price tag as well.
Real quick, just another anecdote. Did you see that Jordan Levitt has a page on betmma.tips, and he actually bet on himself 2.5 units, 2.5 units, and he gave a little write-up too, like a little description. He basically said, the books think I win this 45% of the time, and I think I win it 60% of the time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's got like 3 2-fight parlays, like various parlays, like 6 and 7 units, like Panny Kianzad and Miguel Baeza and stuff like that. So, you know, I respect the guy for placing bets and betting on himself. 2.5 units, but you got, that's to me confidence Trey Ogden right there. So I think it's looking like he's doubting himself, if anything. But yeah, so Trey Ogden, let's go 4-0.
Trey Ogden money line. To be, I believe, the only one who's been on stream every week and given out a winner every week if Trey Ogden comes through. I think there's a couple right at that 3 win mark. So this will be, you'll be the first to number 4. So good luck tonight, bro, and hope you have a good week.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, Trey Ogden money line. So quick recap before we move on to our next guest. Andrew Gomez is on Miguel Baeza money line in the minus 160 range. Jonah Shipman's on Knight and Clark to go the distance at minus 125. He also mentioned the Barnett Buday fight starts round 2 at minus 125. And then Zade is on the main event, starts round 4, minus 152, and a long shot of Belal Muhammad by submission in round 4, round 5 at 50-1. And then Pepe is on Sam Page, Hughes money line plus 195. My guy Billy Briz is on Buday in rounds 1 or 2 at minus 115. And Evan, who we just had, is on Trey Ogden money line in the minus 140 range. We're going to keep tempo going over to my fellow Canadian, not fellow because I'm not Canadian, but I wish I was. Gordo, what's going on? Gordo Gambles, what's your best bet for tonight, bro?
Oh, thanks for having me on once again. Pleasure to be here. Honestly, I was expecting more people to talk about certain fighters, so I set up that backup play just in case. I was going to play some Kaio Borralho, but I expected someone to talk about him really already. But I'll be the one to do the honors here. Yes. I think that any underdog price tag you should be playing. He's very viable to win this spot here. We haven't seen a lot of positive things from Godzi. Oh, sorry. There's a lot of question marks on the Godzi side still. I think that Kaio Borralho has a very well-rounded, very good skill set to win this, especially at that dog money price. Expect this line to come in a lot more, and it hasn't. So it's still sitting at plus money, and that's gonna be my best bet today. I think he's got the much better striking on the feet, and he's strong enough to be able to withstand those takedowns and even compete on the ground as well.
I'm totally with you. I'm glad you brought up Borralho. I put him as the feature boy on the thumbnail because I expected him to be a popular bet. So you are the first one to mention him. I'm kind of surprised, but I'm with you. I basically don't have much to add. I think Borralho is able to keep the fight where he wants to fight it. I think he's a smart fighter. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. And it's like, if Godzi doesn't just to take him down and blanket him, I think he's really going to struggle here. So I think you have to make Borralho at least a small favorite in this matchup. So hope he cashes it for you, me, and the rest of the people on the round table. Good luck tonight, bro. And we'll see you next week.
Cheers, buddy. Have best of luck to you, and go Raptors.
Oh, I don't know if I like that. He snuck in the Raptors there. Uh-oh. Gordo, we might be beefing for that. Maybe we'll do a little side bet on the Sixers Raptors series. Starts tonight at 6, I think 6 Eastern. But we'll keep it moving over to our next guest. Actually, we're going to skip our next guest because it looks like he might be having some technical difficulties. So we're going to go over to my guy, the underdog champion, John Stargarian. What is up, bro?
What's going on, man? Not a whole lot. Coming off cashing that Pitbull ticket last night, so that was fun. I don't love many dogs today, if I'm being honest. I have a bet on Jesse Ronson as a dog, but he's now a favorite. And if we're giving out best bets at current prices, I think my best would probably be Miguel Baeza, especially where it is right now. I see he's down to minus 160 on DraftKings. I have some money on him at, I think, minus 175. I have 2 units, but I might add if he gets down to like minus 150. Personally, for me, I just kind of think this is the market just massively overreacting to Baeza's last 2 fights. I mean, Baeza fought a guy 2 fights ago in Santiago Ponzinibbio and got lined as a favorite in that fight, even though Ponzinibbio is a top 10 welterweight. Then he thought Chaos Williams, who's a borderline top 15 welterweight, again, minus 150. Now he's fighting Andre Fiallo, and the line stayed more or less the same. Fiallo's the same guy who was plus 275 against Michel Pereira, who I think is a reasonably similar comp to Baeza in some respects. And I guess just looking at this fight, I don't really rate Fiallo's game a whole lot. It's just boxing and relying on knockouts. He will pressure, but I don't think effectively. He has no kick game. He has no cardio. He doesn't have much defense. He's just very reliant on getting early knockouts. And with Baeza, he should be, he's probably one of the best kickers in the UFC, maybe the best at 170. He should be able to kick him legs, body, and head pretty much at will without getting hit. I do worry about, him maybe brawling because he can be a bit defensively susceptible in the pocket. But honestly, I don't think he should need to engage the pocket at all here. Should be able to kick him for free. I think even if they did brawl, I favor Baeza. I think he's the bigger hitter. And, even though people talk about his durability, it's like Chaos Williams is a huge hitter. Dude took some bombs from Matt Brown and Santiago Ponzinibbio and wore them fine. So, I don't know. I think he should be way better on minutes. I think he wins the striking fairly easily. I think Fiallo's upside here is likely around one finish. And I think if Baeza wants to grapple here, he might look minus 400. Again, we say this every Miguel Baeza fight, and he never does it. So he probably won't. But honestly, I just think this is a massive market overcorrection off of Baeza losing to 2 pretty good guys. So I'm on Baeza for a decent amount here. I think the minus 160 that's out there now is great.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I thought was a good point that you brought up is like, I don't think his chin is bad, whatever. Like I've heard a few people say that. Like, I don't think it's his chin that's bad. It's his irresponsible defense that's bad.
Yes.
And that's why he's constantly getting clipped. But like, it's hard to really put it. I know he got knocked out by Chaos Williams, who you said, like you said, one of the bigger hitters. But it's like, I don't think his chin is that bad. I think his defense is what's bad. And if he stays responsible enough, he could easily win this fight at range. I think his leg kicks are deadly in this type of matchup here. And you're not the only one on Baeza either. Andrew mentioned him as well. So I might have to put a star next to him. This might be a roundtable anchor here.
Yeah, agreed. And like if you look at the Williams KO, I mean, he clips him like flush on the chin, lunging into the pocket. It's not like he was going out soft. And he actually looked pretty good in that fight for the most part. So I don't know. Yeah, I think this is a great spot for him. And if he stopped Fiallo by leg kicks, I honestly wouldn't be shocked. Fiallo doesn't check kicks at all. I just think he has a huge edge here. And Fiallo has a bunch of regional KOs, and he knocked out James Vick, who everybody's knocked out, and Stefan Sekulic with an elbow. And now he's being priced as someone who's a serious threat to knock out Baeza. I'm not really buying it.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. And I was kind of surprised when I checked this morning and saw that the line had come in pretty much across the industry. Like, I don't know. I just kind of see as, Fiallo has power, but he's kind of just like a one-dimensional puncher. Like, he doesn't even really have much diversity in his strikes or attacks or anything. So,
right. It's like what percentage, like, Fiallo could KO him, but like what percentage can you really put that at? I certainly can't put that at like past 25%,
Yeah.
And I just think, a decision from Fiallo likely requires him to show a level of cardio and diversity to his game that we just have never seen in his career,
100%. Love it, man. Good luck tonight. Hopefully Baeza comes through for us, and good luck, and we'll see you next time, bro.
Take it easy, John. Thanks for having me.
All right, moving right along to our next guest. First time on stream. It's my guy, Dylan. I hope you're not driving, bro. We have bylaws against driving, but we'll go ahead.
I was at the gym. I'm just getting out. That's why
okay, there you go.
To join.
Perfect. But thank you for joining us. First time on stream. What is your best bet for UFC Vegas 51?
All right, so I know you're on the Luque side. I was at the beginning of the week, but BetMGM has Belal Muhammad plus 250 to win by decision. I think that's going to be my best bet. Luque is 2-5 in decision. I mean, Belal's best path to victory obviously is the wrestling and just kind of like trying to hold him down. He's not going to get into a firefight, I don't think. He did in the first fight. I would assume that he's smartened up a little bit, matured. I mean, he's on what, a 10-fight win streak, whatever it is that he's on. So I don't know. I think plus 250 for the decision is a pretty good price. And I have one other bet that I don't know if you're going to be on, but I know Clint from Diehards is on it. Brandon Jenkins, plus 450. Close looked absolutely horrible on the scale. He's openly talking about how that Stevens push has affected him. And, I mean, he's 34. He's coming off a knockout loss to Dariush. So for plus 450 for Jenkins, and if you take the TKO prop, it's plus 1,100, I believe, on BetMGM. Honestly, I think it's worth the flyer. I think it could happen. Close is going to want to wrestle. I can see Jenkins hitting him with a knee up the middle, knocking him out. I think that's my oh, go ahead.
I wouldn't be totally surprised. I mean, of course, we'd be surprised, right? But like you mentioned a couple things, like Drakkar Klose, you don't know how those type of knockouts change people. Like he went life or death with Beneil Dariush. And then you mentioned like he just came out in an interview this week and said he's still dealing with like neck issues from when Jeremy Stevens shoved him, which I thought was kind of crazy. But I mean, you never know how that could affect somebody. So I don't rate Jenkins super highly, but I mean, I don't hate the angle, I guess. Like it's a big number. If it were me, I would probably just stick to like a small sprinkle on that knockout prop, like you said. Mm-hmm. But Muhammad by decision, I do think that's a good price tag. If you are going to play Belal Muhammad, like I bet Luque inside the distance. But if you are going to play Belal Muhammad, that's probably how he wins, right? Like he lands multiple takedowns, he grinds on him. Yep. We probably think he has a cardio edge here. Like he would want the fight to go the distance, you would think. So at plus 250, if he wins, I think that would be the way to target him. So you are the second person to mention Belal Muhammad. So like I said, I think he's kind of going to be a popular pick. A lot of sharp people are on him, so I don't hate that. I'd probably lean that obviously more than the Brandon Jenkins, but I don't hate the long shot.
Absolutely.
Good luck this week. Thank you for joining us first time on stream. People have been really hot first time on stream. They come in, they cash a winner. So hopefully the good vibes rub off on you. Good luck tonight, bro.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thanks. All right. Moving right along to our next guest. We got my guy, Josh Frick in the chat. What's up, bro?
What's up, John? Sorry, I literally just pulled over so I could talk to you real quick.
I appreciate that.
So I'm really glad you didn't pee your pants on Pete's show, as awesome as that would have been to see. I was waiting for it all night. That would have been like the highlight of that card, even with the Kemzat fight.
I mean, for 32,000, I'll do whatever you want, you know?
We might take you up on that soon, John. So this week, I really like, there's a couple spots after watching weigh-ins. William Knight looked absolutely huge. I think Devin Clark's going to have a hard time taking him down, like just pressing up against him. Even if he does take him down, I think William Knight at like the natural weight he walks around at is going to have a lot better cardio and be able to get up. So I think William Knight by KO plus 330 is a great line. Devin Clark's shown that he doesn't have a great chin. So William Knight, I don't think has to catch him a bunch of times to put him out. So I think there's a lot of value in that bet.
So you have Knight by knockout at plus 330, you said?
Yes, sir.
So I'm on the Devin Clark side, but plus 330, I didn't even know that was out there. Like if you are going to play Knight, like that seems like a pretty big number against somebody that has like kind of a fragile chin. Like I know Clark, we think he's going to fight the right game plan. I expect him to grind on William Knight where he has a clear wrestling advantage. But I mean, for even the small amount of time that this fight is in space, that chin could be liable. So I don't hate the angle there. Knight by knockout at plus 330. Is that all you got for us, Josh?
I also like Sabatini by sub. It's plus 150, but I think majority of the time he wins this fight, it's going to be by sub, and being that big of a favorite, you can kind of add some plus value to it. So I think that's a really good bet. Last one I have, I know a lot of people on Belal. I was on Belal early in the week, but I think Vicente Luque is going to knock him out. If you can get plus 300 on Vicente Luque by KO, I think that's a great number as well. I think a lot of the bets this week, it's not a great card, so I think a lot of the bets should be like where you can find value in the lines, and I think there's a lot of value in that line.
Absolutely is, because earlier in the week that was plus 230, at least on FanDuel, and then I think they moved it to plus 250. So it seems like people are kind of not expecting him to win by knockout, but I'm with you. I think he probably gets it done, or maybe Belal Muhammad if he comes in with the wrestling heavy game plan. Luque snatches up the neck like he did in his last couple fights. But okay, so we got Knight by knockout at plus 330, Sabatini by sub plus 150, and then we'll add the Luque by knockout at plus 300. Appreciate it, Josh. Good luck, tonight, bro.
Have a good night, bro. Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Finally, we had somebody mention Vicente Luque. I mean, the disrespect on my guy Vicente Luque. I mean, come on. Moving right along to my guy, Lou Betcho. What's up, bro?
Yo, I thought it was going to get to me, and nobody's going to pick Sabatini, but we need some Philly love in this place, don't we?
Absolutely, we
Enough
do.
about the Raptors. Enough about all this.
Thank
no
you.
offense to my neighbors to the north. FanDuel, Sabatini sub plus 160. Round 1 sub plus 410. He's got advantages everywhere here. I don't like Laramie's layoff. 3 of his 4 losses, he's been finished in the first. I mean, the Minner fight was, I don't know if that's an anomaly or whatever, but he's been knocked out twice in the first 2. So a lot of red flags on the Laramie side. Maybe there's a little bit of bias here. I don't know, but Sabatini is just improving. I love his gym. I love everything I've seen from him. He's got a huge grappling edge, and while they're dry, I think he could just take them down and choke them out. You can go 100%. For a leg. And yeah, by the way, I mean, I'm on this, just to add to it, I'm also on the Baeza side like everybody else. The KO prop is plus 225. And I feel like I know he could win just a unanimous decision, but I got to think he's going to chew up that leg and just get Fiallo out of there. I have him round 2 at plus 750. So,
I mean, talk dirty to me. Baeza leg kicks. I mean, I could see a leg kick KO finish here. So third person to even mention Baeza money line. That's for sure going to be an anchor. But also, I love the Sabatini call. Our Philly guy, I bet him by sub as well. So definitely hoping that comes through. Clear grappling edge. He has good enough wrestling to get the fight where he needs it. So I absolutely love those calls. Thanks for joining, Lou. Good night. Good luck.
Go Sixers. Go Sixers.
Go Sixers. Absolutely. Trust the process. My guy. All right. Love those calls. Moving right along to last but not least. Well, actually, we might have one person if he gets on in time join us, but this is likely last or not least because I think he's still going to be at work. But saving the best for last, as always. It's my guy, Liam Picks Fights. What's up, bro?
What's going on, my man? And yeah, I still got a lot of work left to do today. I got to go on my own channel and go live and give some thoughts on these fights, but wanted to come on and try and give my best bets to the people here. Had some mixed results with you, my man. I've been, not always on the ball for these, so I'm hoping that we get back on track this week because I certainly wouldn't have made Alja my best bet last week, but it's what saved my evening. So God bless. That's the way it goes. But with that being said, I put out a free play this week early on when he was still at plus money on Jesse Ronson. I think he's the more dangerous fighter in that matchup pretty clearly. Now, the question is, can he keep the fight upright, sprawl and brawl for the full 15 minutes if he needs to? I hope so, man. He's 36 years old. That's really the only concern for me. But I think he has the skills to win this fight. I think even if he gets taken down, he could pop back up to his feet without getting submitted. So that's what I'm hoping to see out of Jesse Ronson. And I think any plus money by his name was a fine bet. And we've seen that reflected in the market. Additionally, I'm on Kaio Borralho in this spot. And when I look at the matchup, I think that he's a dangerous submission grappler. I don't think that taking him down is like an easy path to victory. I think it's going to be nerve-wracking. I think he's going to have opportunities to submit or sweep or take the back or scramble. And I also think that he might be able to work at a high enough pace rate for the first, 12 and a half minutes here to really put a lot of pressure on Godzi on the other side. And Godzi does show a perfect record. If you look at his professional work, but in 2018 he was losing fights as an amateur, so it's like it doesn't really mean a ton to me to have that undefeated record. I like Kaio's game. I was impressed with him on Contender, bet him in both of his fights there, bet him by knockout in one of those fights as well for the plus 400 tag, which was nice. So I think that he keeps getting these plus money numbers by his name. I'm going to keep taking them, whether that's on the prop market or in the straight betting market. And here, I didn't have to get cute with it and pick a prop. I get plus money by the money line. So I invested there as well. I think that's a good angle. And my last spot that I haven't tracked the bet yet because I'm going to add to it, I believe. But Ange Lusa, I was kind of back and forth on this fight all week, man. And I thought that Munir was going to be able to touch him up, but I revisited my old notes on Munir, and I think that he's going to show some susceptibility here. I think that who gets the takedowns is going to define who wins the matchup in a lot of ways. And I think Angelus has made a lot of improvements in that realm. You know, I thought that the Jack Della fight has aged considerably better than I expected it to as well. And so I think Jack Della is still a question mark, but he had him in a lot of dangerous spots there. That head and arm choke was deep. Somebody else, my man Just Win reminded me of that. And I went back and looked, and he was right. You know, that could have finished a lot of lesser opponents. So I think that Angelusa, the Howard fight was a little concerning to me. I thought he should have ran away with it a little more, but still beating a seasoned vet, showing that he could have a game plan and fight for 15 minutes at the plus 180 tag. I'll take him on the money line.
So what if I told you I have a unit and a half on my guy Angelusa at plus 172?
Ha!
Let's
I would
go.
say, my man, I'm glad that we're riding together on this
Let's
one. And
go.
I think it's a good angle.
And I'm also on Kaio Borralho for a unit and a half. That's a plus money. So we are in lockstep. I am not on Jesse Ronson money line, but I did bet the sub prop at plus 750. Basically, like I picked Rafa Garcia to win. It's not like a super confident lean for me. I think he's going to come in. He's probably going to try to wrestle. Maybe that'll swing close rounds. Jesse Ronson's not like high volume. So I think he needs like either a finish or those big moments, which I think he's perfectly capable of doing. But I just did not think that the submission prop should be equal for those guys. Like Garcia on FanDuel at least was plus 750 by sub, and Ronson was plus 750 by sub. I think Ronson is the better grappler and for sure more dangerous on the mat. So that's the way I played it. Took a half a unit stab on Ronson by sub. But certainly if you got some plus money on the early openers, I think that would probably be the way to go there.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that it's an interesting fight from a prop perspective. You know, I think a Rafa Garcia sub is actually in the cards down the stretch just because he's a younger guy. He's a little fresher. He's going to push the grappling all night. So if Ronson was to break down the stretch, that would be how he gets his finish. I don't see him knocking out Ronson at all. You know, I don't think that he's got a ton of power. I don't think he throws even a ton of ground and pound volume. I think he's really just going to look for the sub. So I would consider him from like a finish perspective, sub or bust. So I get that pricing, but yeah, I think Ronson's dangerous, man. And I do think sometimes people underrate these guys who are, you know, certainly Canadians, but definitely this guy, Ronson, who is coming off the PED suspension. He's a little bit older, but he's fought a much higher quality of competition and excelled in a lot of those matchups. So I think that the decision is where it gets super greasy for him. He's lost a lot of decisions. That's obviously a red flag, but I think the guy who has more finishing equity by far in the knockout and the submission is going to be Ronson.
Absolutely love it. As always, Liam, I appreciate you joining. Everyone go check out. What time are you going live? You said you're going live on your channel. What time?
Yeah, it's a fluid situation. Follow me on Twitter at Liam Picks Fights. I'll let you know.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter. He'll post a link. Definitely check out. He's doing great work on his YouTube channel. Appreciate you joining, Liam. Good luck tonight, bro. And hopefully we'll cash multiple of the same bets this week in Borralho and Ange Luis.
I love it, my man. Let's get these.
All right. So I feel like we have a pretty confident roundtable parlay this week, boys. Like last week, I felt not the greatest because, you know, we didn't have as many guests, didn't have as many things to choose from. And there was kind of just some fights where it was kind of like I had a bet on Pierre Rodriguez, but multiple people were on Kay Hansen. So man of the people, we had to include Kay Hansen in the parlay. So I didn't feel good about it. And obviously she burned us. But that wasn't the only one. The Chimaev Burns under 1.5, which I did bet separately too. That didn't come through. But I feel a lot better about this week. I think we have a lot of stuff to choose from. So let's craft up. As always, we'll do either a 3-leg or a 4-leg, depending on how much we like here. And then I'll do the graphic, tweet it out. And I, of course, bet these myself. So hopefully we can finally hit one of these. We've had multiple where they've been like barely losing on one leg or something, where it's been incredibly frustrating. So we want to hit one of these. Obviously, we're going to go Baeza money line at minus 160. That was mentioned by 3 different people and something that I was close to betting myself. I did not bet it. So this will be the way I get some money line action on my guy Baeza in minus 160. So he's going to be definitely an anchor. What else do we like? If you feel strongly about something that was mentioned on the show, feel free to put it in the chat while I review my notes here and see what else was mentioned. Hopefully the ones that are mentioned multiple times, I feel like we always kind of and you know, obviously if I like them too, I feel like those are the more confident ones that we should put in. Like I'm considering adding Sabatini by sub because that was mentioned a couple times. Kaio Borralho money line, we for sure have to bet. You know, I put him as the poster boy on the thumbnail. He was mentioned by let's see, who else mentioned him? I know there was a couple. Gordo's on Borralho money line. Liam's on Borralho money line. I'm on Borralho money line. I thought there was one other, but either way, 3 is good enough. So Baeza money line is going to be an anchor. Borralho money line is for sure, and that's still plus money, I believe, which doesn't make sense to me. So those 2, and then let's try to get at least one more, if not 2, something that we feel strongly about. Mr. Jingle says Sabatini sub. That's the way I'm leaning. That might be our take me home piece on the 3rd leg. Prodigy said was late to the show, not sure if mentioned, but I'm high on Luque money line. So I'm on the Luque side as well. I feel like we're kind of on an island this week. A lot of sharp people I respect on Belal Muhammad, and Belal Muhammad was mentioned a couple times on this show as well. My guy Dylan was on Muhammad by decision at plus 250. Zade, his best bet was the main event starts round 4, but he's definitely leaning towards the Muhammad side, and his long shot was round 4 or round 5 sub at 50-1 for Muhammad. But yeah, I'm with you, bro. I think Luque finishes. I think Muhammad's been on a great run, but it's come against lower level of competition. Like I'm also a huge Luque fan. Like I've made a lot of money betting on this dude. It's probably just a homer pick, but I bet him inside the distance plus money. I don't think you can go terribly wrong there. Eric Coates said I hit Ronson. His decision is a better price than Hoffa's. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. Liam made a good case for Jesse Ronson. I sprinkled Ronson by sub just because I thought the number was off, and Garcia tends to gas a little bit. So we have Baeza money line, Borralho money line. I think we're gonna go Sabatini by sub because that was mentioned a few times. That's an individual bet that I have as well. That would give us plus 160. Let's see what would that give us? Like plus 700, something like that. Those 3 combined. Does that sound right? Do we need a 4th leg? Do we even have a 4th leg that multiple people mentioned or that we feel super strongly about? Not going to add Sam Hughes. I can't do it, Pepe. Made a good case for him. A couple things that I didn't even realize with the camp change and stuff like that. And he brought up a good point. She won round 3 in both of her fights that went the distance, which is an interesting angle against somebody like Nunes, who probably doesn't have the best gas tank. But I'm still just not going to do it. I can't do it. I'm too scared. Okay. I think that might be it, boys. We might just end it there with the 3-legger. Someone did mention Buday. Billy Briz, my guy Billy Briz is on Buday, but it's a prop. Round 1 or round 2. A lot of people don't have access to those props, so I try not to include. I want this to be something that everyone has access to. Wheezy said Buday inside the distance. Yeah, it's not bad. Ogden Levitt ends by sub. I don't hate that, especially like plus 200 something for 2 guys that are probably just going to roll around for 15 minutes. Postman Pick says Trey Ogden, one of my favorite plays here. Do we want to add Trey Ogden? How confident are we on Trey Ogden? Because Evan, who has yet to lose on this stream, every single thing that he's given out has completely crushed, sweat-free for the most part. And he's on Trey Ogden pretty big here. And I was close to betting Ogden money line. I ended up with a Levitt submission prop. This could be a way to hedge that a little bit if we make Trey Ogden. What do we think? Add Ogden or just end it with the 3-legger? Prodigy says he likes Ogden. We're doing it. We're adding Trey Ogden. We don't want none of that weak sauce 3-leg stuff. You know, be a man, get a 4-legger in there. We want it to be somewhere around like 10-1, something where people could actually make a little bit of money with not a huge bankroll. That's the idea here. So, okay, that's what we'll do. Baeza money line, Borralho money line, Trey Ogden money line, and Sabatini by sub for the boys. we're going to do it. I'll tweet out the graphic later. As always, appreciate the support, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Did a few, did one for Underdog, and did a full betting and DraftKings preview as well on my channel. I appreciate it, guys. Good luck, and hopefully we all crush and make some money tonight. See you guys.